This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. And Happy New Year. Even though the New Year's not here yet, I probably won't see you tonight. So I want to say Happy New Year to you now. Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Sam. Hope all is well with you and yours. Happy New Year. Hope the holidays was good. I'm doing really good. I'm not down on the Knicks. We lost
Okay.
5. We lost 5. But I
5.
just feel like when we're healthy, I just still believe in this team, especially the top 3,
Right.
and just hoping we get some reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe in the team. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
But I still definitely believe in the team. I feel like this is a must-win game, though.
No doubt.
Right? They went 5 games above 500. Right now they're at 500, and I feel like you don't want to dip below. You don't want to go 5 games above and then dip below 500. So I feel like this is
right.
And you're playing a team against the Houston Rockets that just isn't that good.
Right.
You thought San Antonio Spurs weren't going to be that good, but they came out ready to play, ready to go, and the Knicks were still kind of in a stupor from that Dallas game. You know what I mean? So to me, tonight is a must-win game for the Knicks.
I agree.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you since, after that Dallas game. How did you feel about that? And I know we're still going back, and we won't spend too much time on it, ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
but I just want to know how Steph was feeling after that game.
You know what, Sam? I had to get off the roller coaster. I forgot what season it was, where I was just emotionally up when the Knicks lost, down when I had to get off that roller coaster. So I still felt even, after the Dallas game. And I actually caught your show the next morning. Great show, by the way.
Thank you.
Isaiah
Appreciate it.
growing up, relationships looking good on him. He growing up and giving his nuanced takes. I'm like, look at Isaiah, twinkle toes over there doing his thing.
Right.
But I just thought that the Knicks were having difficulty closing, and that was just another another example of them having difficulty closing the games, not doing the little things, the free throws, the rebounding, the boxing out,
Right.
those little things. And, we don't have like superstars on our team. So we got to understand what our identity is, and we got to stick with that no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. Now, people blaming Tibbs. You got a 9-point lead with 33 seconds. You got to close that out.
You got to
I'm
close
sorry. You got. He should have put Sims over here next to the shooter for the. You got to close that
You
out.
got to close it. I mean, I did a show afterwards, a video, and was it Miles McBride and Quentin Grimes had the ball
Correct.
right there. Somebody's got to say, I got it.
Right.
And grab that rebound and walk away with the win. So, yeah, people who were blaming Tibbs, I couldn't blame Tibbs. I can understand if someone, questioned the call to foul or not to foul, but still, to me, that wasn't the reason the Knicks lost the game. Bottom line,
no doubt about it.
They didn't do the little things they needed to close it. And then San Antonio, it just felt like it was there was just that leftover pain, right, from the Dallas game.
Yeah.
They hadn't gotten over it yet. Not to mention you're missing Jalen Brunson and R.J. Barrett, but when you look at the Dallas game, the Knicks, without Jalen Brunson or R.J. Barrett, built 15, 17-point lead, whatever.
Right.
Right? They
Right. That's a good
built a
point.
pretty big
Right.
lead. Maybe it was 14. I don't know, but they built a pretty big lead against Dallas. And I guess a lot can point to confidence. Even though they were missing RJ and Jalen Brunson, it was still a confident team at that point. And
Right.
then what happened at the end, I mean, something like that can stir your confidence a little bit. And then they
Right.
go
Right.
into San Antonio with less confidence, maybe feeling like, oh, there wasn't enough leadership down the end of the game. Jalen Brunson wasn't there. We need him
Right.
to be the leader on the floor. And then, you see what happened in San Antonio. How do the Knicks get over those two games? You got those two games. You lose to Dallas, then you lose to a team that you probably shouldn't have lost to. And then you add on a 5-game losing streak now. How do the Knicks get over that tonight?
Right. And now you're, at least the last I checked yesterday, they were 8th in the conference. Who knows where they are today? I didn't even check. I
Right.
didn't even check. One of the things I liked about the Knicks through the 8th game winning streak, I felt like the approach was good. Like no matter who they played, no matter, what was going on, they just stayed with the same approach. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's missing after the Dallas game, took a little out of them. They rallied back in the fourth quarter, but in that first quarter, they were very flat. So I say all of that to say is they got to get back to approaching the games the same way. It doesn't matter who the competition is.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is our identity. If so and so is out, obviously it's going to be tougher for us, especially to score. So our defense has to be even more on point because we
Exactly.
don't have the offensive firepower.
Right.
So just, I want them to get back to just being mentally tough, not going up and down with these wins and these losses. This is who we are. This is our approach no matter what.
Right.
That's what I want. I think that's what they need to do to get back on track.
Yeah. And hopefully that's what Tom Thibodeau is preaching to him. Just stay
Right.
the course, stay with what we do.
Right.
During that, like you said, during that 8-game winning streak, they found some resemblance of identity,
Right.
especially, on that defensive side and just, playing hard, hustling hard, playing defense. They found that identity. The last 5 games, and I'm going to read out those numbers later on, it's been totally different.
A lot of slippage.
A lot of slippage. It's really been different.
I have a question for
Yeah.
you, Sam. When you're playing defense, you're playing on a string. Do you think having different people coming in and out of the lineups during injuries is impacting that? Because I know Randall talked about that at one of his pressers that I don't know if it was Dallas. I think it was a San Antonio presser that they're just not on a string. Or do you feel like regardless, this is basic defensive principles?
Now, I think it does impact it. It has to, in my opinion, because you kind of get to know the tendencies of the people that you're on the floor with, right?
Right.
So if it's Randall and RJ, you two know that you're gonna switch
Right.
on certain plays, right? Because you've developed that type of communication, and I'm just using that as an example. Or
Right.
you might know that this guy's a little bit slower. If he's on my side of the floor and someone has the ball, I may need to help out. I may need to help a little bit more, right? Because this guy could get past them. All of those little things help your defense to be, help the defensive chemistry, I think. Just understanding what your teammates do. So now when you get new teammates in there, they might do something a little bit different.
Right.
That you're not used to, or the communication may not be the same. And I think that's where you start to get some slippage,
Right.
and then you've got to work those things out with those players that are in that lineup,
Right.
like different. I mean, one, when you look at the lineup now, is much smaller,
Yes.
right? When you got Quickly, McBride, and Grimes out there, it's way smaller. So now there may be, if someone is posting up McBride or Quickly, where you only had one guy that you were double teaming. You were double teaming if Jalen Brunson was getting posted up.
Right.
Now you might be double teaming if it's McBride or Quickly, and you got to get used to that.
Right.
You know, both of those guys, while McBride can be strong on the ball, people can shoot over top of him because he's a little bit shorter. If he's defending someone who's 6'5" or 6'6",
Right.
so that changes the defense as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then of course not having now the bench is different too. With these injuries, the bench is different now. You know what I mean? I mean, in one game, Fournier didn't even get off the bench when RJ went out early in that Dallas game. He did play versus San Antonio. I don't think Cam is going to play. I know there's a lot of people, up in arms about Cam not playing. I still don't think he's going to play. But the bench is different. We're going to look at the bench too. The numbers on the bench are offensively are not good.
Yeah, no, it's
right? Not good because you got at least two players in the starting lineup now. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of changes going on from that 8-game win streak to now. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of changes.
Right.
A lot of changes. But tonight, as you can see, it's scrolling over the top of the screen. Jalen Brunson is questionable. RJ Barrett continues to be out. Of course, Obi Toppin continues to be out. And who knows how long, from what I was hearing with RJ's finger, if you bend it or whatever, he can see bone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like, who knows how long that could be. So, and it is on his right index finger, so at least it's not his shooting hand. But still, dribbling the ball is probably painful. You might need to wait for it to heal up at least a little bit so the skin isn't split before he can get back out there on the floor.
Right. Wow.
Yep. And then Jalen Brunson has a sore hip. He's questionable, which I think probably means a game time decision, really. They'll test it out and see how he feels. And if he feels like he can go, he'll go. But right now he's still questionable. For the Houston Rockets, for the most part, Jayshawn Tate is out with right ankle soreness. But for the most part, they're going to be healthy tonight. Looking at the starting lineups for the Knicks, expected to be Emmanuel Quickly, Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. And for the Houston Rockets, you have Jalen Green, and they're a young team. Kevin Porter Jr. You got Eric Gordon, who has been starting, and he's starting at a forward position basically, but he's a small guy. Then you got Jabari Smith Jr. at power forward, and you got Sengun. Hopefully I said his name correctly, Alperen Sengun, at the center spot. When you're looking at the Knicks though lineup, their starting lineup. Quickly, McBride, Grimes, Randall, Robinson. And I know what Tom Thibodeau wants to do as far as having that defense out there with McBride being in that lineup. But, I mean, do you think it's too small? And do you think there's enough offense in the lineup? I mean, I guess you got Quickly, Grimes, and Randall, but you don't really have – I mean, you don't really – well, Grimes, I guess, is a shooter. Now Grimes, though, is asked to do a little bit more as far as being able to create. I don't know. What do you think about that lineup?
I would start Fournier. I still think that the defense is still strong enough with Quickly, Grimes, Randall, and Robinson. It's not like we're talking about Fournier and Obi and RJ Barrett, So I would start Fournier to give us that height and also to give us the offense. Grimes is in his second year. 2 games ago he had 33 points, but you can't expect him to be consistent at this point in his development. He's going to be up and down. That's to be expected. Quickly is in his 3rd year. He's been playing very well of late, but he's been up and down throughout the season, as well. I don't know what we would get from Fournier. He played well, 11 points in 17 minutes the other game, but I would start Fournier and I would bring McBride um, off the bench. Grimes is a good defender. Quickly is a good defender. Randall's defense has been better, and Robinson is a good interior defender. And Fournier is not like, he's playing matador defense and he's not trying and he's not fighting over screens and he's not trying to get back into the play. His lateral quickness is just not there.
Right. Yeah, I'm not enthused about the lineup either. I think if I was gonna play Fournier, I would go ahead and insert him in the starting lineup. You know what I mean? And have either McBride or Grimes out there, at the shooting guard, and Evan Fournier at the small forward spot. He's been a starter before. He knows what to do. He's been in the league. He's a veteran. He knows what to do.
Right.
Yeah, that way you have the size out there, you have shooting out there on the floor. I feel like it just makes the lineup more complete.
Correct.
Right. But I don't know. And who knows? Maybe there could be some kind of change tonight since Fournier did play versus San Antonio. I don't expect there to be. I would expect that he's going to go with the same unit here, especially, when you look at the Houston Rockets, they kind of got a small lineup as well.
Right.
Right. Jalen Green, I think, is 6'4". Kevin Porter Jr. is 6'4". And I think Eric Gordon he's 6'3". So they have a small lineup. So I'd expect that Tom Thibodeau is going to stay with this lineup here. And then Jabari Smith Jr., I think he's 6'8". So he's not, like huge, real big.
Right.
Right. And then Sengun, I think, oh, no, I'm sorry. Jabari Smith Jr. is 6'11". I thought he was 6'8". So he's 6'11". And then Alperin is also 6'11".
Right.
Yeah.
But even if you started Fournier, Gordon is not lightning quick.
Exactly. Right.
He's not a lightning quick, guard.
Right.
And this is a break glass situation in my opinion. But even if he doesn't start, I hope that he's in the rotation, that we can go 10. I don't even know if we got 4 Pete. We might just have to go 9, right?
So you have Rose, Fournier, right, Sims, and Hartenstein. I mean, he could use Cam.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to.
Wow. So if he doesn't play, then we're talking 8. So hopefully he's in the rotation, even if he doesn't start.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Looking at my thoughts on the defensive matchups for the night, I have Miles McBride on Jalen Green. And the reason why I went there is because McBride is, he's small, he's shorter than Grimes. Jalen Green is, he's like 185 pounds. Kevin Porter Jr. is like 205. So I thought, okay, if you put Grimes on Kevin Porter Jr., it's a little bit more size on Kevin Porter Jr. Grimes is 6'5", Porter Jr. is 6'4". Quickly on Eric Gordon. And then Randall on Jabari Smith Jr. and Robinson on Sengun. I'm thinking that's probably what it would look like. Grimes and McBride can switch. I mean, I guess between Grimes, McBride, and Quickly, they're all about the same size. Within a couple of inches, they can switch back and forth when necessary.
Right.
Anything now, if Evan Fournier were to start, then he'd have to just stick with Eric Gordon, I think.
Yeah, the switching would be an issue. That's a good point.
Yeah, because both Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. can go off the dribble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Any other thoughts about those matchups there?
I want Mitchell Robinson to rebound. I thought in the Philly and in the Dallas game, he really shone. Not just obviously what he does, the intangibles is there always, pretty much for the most part. But the tangibles, in terms of his counting stats was there. in Philly and Dallas, and he seemed a little out of it, as most of the Knicks were. So I hope that he gets back to it
Yeah.
today. Like, they threw the ball in the post to him a few times. He made a move. I thought maybe I was delusional. So, I want Mitchell Robinson to kind of dominate his position with Sengun, because one thing about him, Alperin, is he's multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna rebound, he can score, he can play make. So Mitchell Robinson really has to be on it, to kind of limit, what he does. And Jabari Smith, not shooting well this season, as most rookies, which is the case with which most rookies. I expect Randall to dominate that.
Dominate that, right?
Dominate it.
Yeah, I mean, Randall's been on fire. He's been,
Yeah.
he's been really good this year. Defensive lapses. There's been defensive lapses, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. 41 points
Yeah.
last game versus San Antonio.
Yeah.
Obviously got overlooked with the loss. But he was scoring efficiently. I don't know if he did the best job defensively though, in
Right.
San Antonio. But when I look at Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., I'm nervous about those matchups there, because those two guys, Kevin Porter Jr. is averaging 20 a game, and Jalen Green is averaging 20 and Kevin Porter is averaging 19, something like that. But they're both around 20. And they've been doing it all season long. They can both go off the dribble. They can create their own shot. These are two guys that are tough to guard. And then I think Miles McBride, he's not going to give you much. He's not going off the dribble. He's basically going to be a 3-point shooter every once in a while, and maybe pull up a mid-range. Quentin Grimes, I think there's still question marks about ways in which he can score. We know he scored 33 points, I think, in Dallas, his career high. But then in San Antonio, he wasn't the same Quentin Grimes, right?
Right.
So I think
Right.
there's still some question marks there. Quickly, he can be up and down. We know he can go off the dribble. He can shoot the three. But, man, if we don't get production from one of those guys, you assume we're going to get it from Randall. If we don't get production from one of those guys, it could be tough.
It could be tough. And Randall can't even have a bad game.
Right? Randall he can't.
He can't have a bad
He can't have a
game.
bad game.
Which happens from time to time, but he can't have it. And you're right, Sam. Where's the offense coming from?
Yeah.
Is Quickly going to be on tonight? Is Grimes going to be on tonight? To your point, you can't expect a lot from McBride. Robinson, I think teams have been making a concerted effort to keep him off the offensive boards to limit his damage.
Mm-hmm.
So offensively, it could be a tough night for us, which is why our defense has to be top notch.
Right.
To really try to do our best to hold their scoring down.
Yeah. So this is going to be. It's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be any walk in the park game.
And you know what? That was the same thing with San Antonio. Oh, this should be a blowout. Why? You take away two of your top three players, you're bringing your talent level is basically coming down to theirs.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
So you expect that you're supposed to just go in and blow them out because they're in the 14th league. You're without two of your best. I'm not saying we should have lost that game, but I'm saying I didn't go into that game thinking it was a gimme.
Right.
Because I knew we were offensively challenged.
Yeah. And I think we're going to be that way again tonight.
Correct.
And we don't have anybody coming off the bench that you used to be able to depend on Derrick Rose, but
right. Nah, he's not. He doesn't look the same. I don't know if his age, injury, or if there's like his inconsistent minutes. Maybe that's impacting him, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, he doesn't look. He doesn't look as confident. And there's something between him and Randall. Tony pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't see it in that game, but against Dallas or maybe it was San Antonio, one of them, I seen, Randall like, come get the ball. There's something going on there where, maybe Randall's feeling like Rose doesn't want the ball, or wants, or he's kind of going back to the way it was last year, where Randall's the one bringing the ball up and doing everything,
Mm-hmm.
and Randall wants him to be the one handling the basketball. So I don't know,
Right.
but um, hopefully that's nothing. Maybe
Right.
just basketball team stuff.
Right.
But I don't know. We can't rely on Derrick Rose to score. You know what I mean? And right now, the bench just doesn't have any scoring punch.
Right.
Any over the last 5 games, they're averaging 18.8 points. Obviously,
Mm.
you don't have as many guys playing, right? You don't have as many guys playing, so you're not going to get as much scoring punch. But 18.8 points in the last 5 games for the bench, 10.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.4 steals, 3.2 turnovers. They're shooting 47% from the field and 24% from the 3-point line. This is the Knicks bench. Now, Evan Fournier is reinserted, and I'm expecting that he's going to play tonight. You got to. You can't just play 8 guys. Expecting that he's going to play tonight. We'll see if that gives the bench any kind of a boost, any kind of a scoring boost for the Houston Rockets, who are 1-4 in their last 5 games. Their bench, you got Ty Washington, Garrison Matthews, Tari Eason, Kenyon Martin Jr., you have Garuba. They're averaging 27 points, 27.6 points per game, 17 rebounds, 6.4 assists. They're shooting 41.7% from the field and 33.3% from the 3-point line. I don't know what to expect from the bench. Now that Evan Fournier is out there, he can score. I think he had 11 points last game. But I don't know. What do you expect from the bench, Steph? Or what do we need from the bench? How about that?
Oh boy. Well, I think that defensively, but that's not even a strong defensive bench,
Mm-mm.
right? Other than Sims.
Right.
Um, I think what we need is for somebody to play better than they've been playing so far. So we need Derrick Rose to play better than he's been playing so
Mm-hmm.
far. Fournier maybe to come in and give us a spark like he did in the last game, San Antonio, and he left some shots on the table. There was some shots where I thought he was hesitant, um, to take. And iHeart, the floater in the lane, giving us, he does pretty good in terms of giving us second chance opportunities, but there's nobody to pass it out to. Like you need to, when you get the second chance opportunity, go back up, get the foul, hit the foul shot. It's slim pickings on that second unit. But the hope is somebody plays over their head. I don't think that's going to be Sims because offensively, he just doesn't have that type of game.
Right. Right. Would you use Cam, Steph?
I would use Cam. And I listen, when RJ went down, I just assumed that Cam was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted to happen. So, I said on another show, there's situational, and then there's you're not playing regardless of the situation. And it seemed like that Cam is in a different, situation. I don't know if that's because of the front office saying that, he's injury prone, we're trading this guy, we don't want anything to interfere. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that it's not just Tibbs deciding he's not going to play him.
Yeah.
I think we need him right now.
Right. I think I see. I think somewhere along the line, Tibbs decided he wasn't going to play. Right, and he wasn't going to be in a rotation. And then once they made that decision, there was probably a sit down, and they all came to the conclusion that he was just not going to play. Basically, he was. You remember with Kemba Walker, they sent him home,
Right.
right?
Right.
He went home and trained. I think it's the
Right.
same situation, except they're just not sending him home.
Right.
Either they don't want to make it look to the public like he's a problem or anything like
Right.
that. So they're like, hey, just grin and bear it. They're on the bench until we find a place for you. But I think there's got to be some kind of understanding that he's not going to play.
Yeah, because I
Has
just
to be.
don't see Tibbs not playing him in a situation like this.
Right. exactly.
He was in the rotation prior to the first Dallas game.
Right.
I mean, he played that first Dallas game, then he was out, was short in the rotation. He was playing though.
And he had a couple of big games. He
Yeah,
was playing decent
absolutely.
defense. So
Mhm.
I couldn't see it either beyond they came to a decision. You
Right.
know, the agents, the front office, everything came to some kind of decision about it. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I can see because it's not like he was playing just terrible basketball when he was
Right.
out there on the floor. Did he make mistakes? Yeah, but so did everybody
Right.
else.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he didn't do anything that was egregious or anything outside of mistakes that other players have made. So that's the only solution that I can come up with.
Right.
Right, the only thing I could come up with, which you know, I don't know. Now I see someone MH says I want to see Svi get a chance. You know, that's I don't even know if that's a possibility. You know what I mean? You know, with Tibbs, I don't know. We haven't seen him much. You know, because there haven't been that many blowouts for him to be able to get into the game like that.
Right.
You know, I do want to shout out Paris Duggar. As a matter of fact, I want to give him a double shout out because I think on the last show, I missed one of his super chats, so I want to make sure I get that up. He was talking about Randall, and we were talking about San Antonio, and he said Randall's been great, but I thought he started soaking the last 3 minutes instead of trying to lead with positivity, which may have made the difference. So fast forward now to tonight, no Jalen Brunson. I'm expecting or assuming no Jalen Brunson. Are you concerned about just leadership for the team?
No. Not as far as Randall is concerned. And I mentioned this you know, on the show. What I'm seeing from Randall is, him employing his teammates as they're going into timeouts. I saw him on the foul line a few games ago. The horn blew. McBride was coming in the game. He went over to McBride. Come on. We need you. I'm not seeing any lack of leadership on Julius Randle's part. Now, would it be better if we had him and Brunson? Yeah.
Right.
It would definitely be better. But guys are allowed to get frustrated. He wants to win. He wanted that Dallas game bad and that San Antonio game bad. And you could tell that, he's been frustrated. But as far as leadership is concerned, I don't have any issues as far as Randall is
What
concerned.
about like floor generalship?
Yeah, I mean, I think as well as Quickly has been playing, especially down the stretch in that Dallas game. I really felt like in overtime, really.
Yeah.
I really felt like we could have used someone to kind of organize us, this person needs to get the ball right
Mhm.
now. Um, I thought Randall wasn't demanding the ball, but sometimes if you have a point guard, they will demand you to the spot.
Right. 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 Right.
We need no. Over
Right.
here,
Exactly. We
we
need
get
you.
we gonna get you to get you the
Exactly.
ball, whether you want it or not. And I'm not saying he didn't want it. Um, so yes, I do think that, and that's kind of where I thought Rose would come in because I feel like Sim, even if he's not scoring for us, even if he's not his same offensively, that part he can
That
do.
part. Yeah.
Initiate the offense, get us in, to our spots, make sure that the ball is going to the right person.
Right.
You can do that. He can do that.
Right. And that's what I wonder when I've seen, the interactions between Julius Randle and Rose, if that's what it is.
Mm,
That's what I'm wondering if it's, Randle doesn't feel like Rose is doing that, right? That
right,
Rose is letting, expecting him to do it, and Randle wants Rose to do it.
right,
You know,
right.
uh,
Yeah.
and
And
that,
is Rose getting down on himself because he's not scoring and he knows that he's not performing the way he used to? Okay. get over
Get
yourself.
over
Like,
it.
what can you do?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what can you do?
Exactly. Because right now the Knicks need him. The Knicks need Derrick Rose if he's going to be playing coming off the bench. They need him to be aggressive.
Right.
Come out, be aggressive, try to score. You know what I mean? Because they need some help off the bench.
Right.
You know, looking at the last 5 games, and Paris Duggar, I'm going to get to the super chat that you did today. I'm going to get to it. I'm just going to do it a little bit later. But looking at the last 5 games for both teams, the Knicks 114 points per game, Rockets 113. The Knicks 44.8 rebounds, the Rockets 47. The Knicks had been one of the top, and if you look throughout the entirety of the season, the Knicks are one of the top rebounding teams in the league, but during this 5-game stretch, not rebounding as well. The assists are up. 25 for the Knicks, 24 for the Rockets, 4 steals for the Knicks, 6.4 for the Rockets, 3 blocks, just about 3 blocks for both teams. The Knicks taking care of the ball over these last 5 games, 11.6 turnovers is what they're averaging over these games, 14.6 for the Rockets. And the Knicks shooting the ball well, 47% from the field and 38% from 3. But from the free throw line, they're shooting 68.1%, and we've seen it throughout this 5-game stretch cause the Knicks to lose, right? And at least 2 of them, free throws were instrumental in the Knicks losing the games. The Rockets over the last 5 games, 46% from the field, 35.4% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line. But there's some numbers that are even more glaring, though, Steph. For the Knicks, their defensive rating over the last 5 games is 125.6, and that's 30th in the league. 30th, that's last in the league. Over these last 5 games, their defensive rating is last in the league. Their offensive rating is 119.5. That's 7th in the league, but they're giving up more points.
Yep. Wow. I like this 5-game thing. Because I noticed some slippage, in the perimeter defense, but this is how bad it is.
Right.
The Knicks are ranked 30th in defense, and it just tells you how well they've been playing. That overall, they at least the last I checked, they were ranked 11th.
Yeah.
And with the last 5 games being 30th in the league. So when I look at those numbers, tonight's going to be a dogfight. Like the Knicks are not coming in with the we're just looking at what they're doing lately. They're not coming in with the 11th ranked defense. They're coming in with the 30th ranked defense over the past, 5 games. And Houston is ranked 26th.
26th, right.
Now the Knicks are still scoring despite the fact that RJ and Brunson haven't been there.
Right. They're still scoring the ball, ranked 7th over the last 5 games. But the defense, I mean, can they get the stops that they need tonight?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Against this, young Houston team. The Rockets, their defensive rating over the last 5 games is 120. That's ranked 26th. And their offensive rating is 112.8. That's ranked 22nd.
Right.
So.
Right. It's going to be really interesting tonight.
It's going to be an interesting game. Now, maybe we'll get surprised and Brunson will play. That'll change a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right. But
I don't think he'll be 100% though.
Yeah,
but whatever he can give us.
Exactly. And Paris Duggar, thank you again for the super chat. He said our best players ranked 63rd with injuries, and we've had Grimes in the beginning this season. Talking about injuries, now you got Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett. 500 ball in the East is good. So basically he's saying having Julius Randle as your best player, the injuries to Grimes, RJ, Brunson, Obi, that 500 ball is good in the East. I get it. I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? And I think, I think most people expected the Knicks to be about a 500 ball club, but it's just, when you win 5 and you have that cushion, you're hoping, well,
Right.
if you're truly a 500 ball club, well, after you win that 8 in a row, now just go ahead and go 500 for the rest of the season and you're 5 games
Right.
above
Right. Right.
500,
Right.
And I guess that could still happen, if they go on another winning streak, but it's got to start tonight.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
it's got to start tonight.
But then there's Phoenix on, I think it's Phoenix Monday.
Yeah, I think it's Phoenix on Monday. Yeah. Yep. They come home, play Phoenix on Monday, which I feel like Phoenix is a winnable game, right? I just always feel like the Knicks match up well with Phoenix. So I feel like that's a game they can win. Then they play the Spurs again. Then they play the Raptors in Toronto. I mean, when I look at the schedule, during the 8-game win streak, when you looked at the schedule, it's like, man, the Knicks could really go on a run.
Right.
When they,
Right.
Now it's a 5-game losing streak, and it's like, all right, well, they could win this one. You look at it, you know that they can win these games because even during this 5-game losing streak, to be honest with you, they've played well but couldn't close.
Right.
Right. In all of these games, except for San Antonio, but in all of these games, they've had sizable leads.
Right.
Right. And they just could not close it out. They couldn't close them out. If they can, like you said, continue to play ball the way that they've been, or come with the same approach every single night, they'll be okay. Right now they don't have 2 of their best players, 2 of their top 3 players. They don't have them. They got to find a way to dig it out. I think that's
right.
I think the Knicks get the win tonight, though. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think they get the win because they're going to be desperate.
Right.
To win tonight.
Right.
The same way Toronto was desperate when they came in on a 6-game losing streak. They were desperate to get that win.
Right.
And you can see it in the way that they played. I think the Knicks are going to play real desperate tonight.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I'm going to head off. As I said, well, maybe I didn't say it yet, but I won't be on tonight. If I do anything, it'll be like a short, 5 takeaways from the game that would be pre-recorded. But for the most part, I won't be on tonight after the game. I'm going to, spend time and hang out with the wife. We're bringing the new year. All right, so I won't be on tonight, but I will be on sometime tomorrow morning to talk about tonight's game. All right, so like I said, I probably won't see you. So happy New Year to you. All right, and, make sure you bring it in responsibly. Meaning I know you're going to party, but, walk home or take an Uber home or,
Right.
Sleep at a friend's house or whatever it is. Don't drive, be responsible. I'll see you tomorrow, Steph. Anything you want to say?
Yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. I don't know if I'm doing the morning recap. If I have the evening I want to have, I won't. But if I go to sleep like I do some years and I don't, and I'm sleeping, I'll be well rested in the morning and I will do it. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, there are links in the description of the video so you can get tickets to the Knicks and Toronto Raptors on Martin Luther King's Day. The game is at 3 p.m. Make sure you get those tickets now before they're gone. And then there are links to tickets to the Knicks versus the Washington Wizards on January 13th in D.C. All right, so make sure you grab those tickets before there's no more remaining. All right, the links are in the description of the video. And for those who already purchased tickets, I'll be in contact with you this week. Okay, so we can talk about, arrangements and seats and stuff like that. All right. If you have any questions about it, you can feel free to, leave something in the comment area or send me an email and I'll answer it as soon as I get it. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate your time and I will see you in 2023.
23.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.